Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at this TEQ BULMA, who got her EZA today. It's kind of crazy they finally decided to EZA her. I actually remember seeing people talking about her on the timeline a little while ago, back when like DB Saga was pretty much like confirmed to be part of the theme of this celebration. Because this unit is very old. We were talking about it on my stream earlier today where I actually did her Extreme Z area, and I think Minato was saying she came out in 2017. And I polled the people in my chat, and I think it was about 70% of people in the chat were playing when she first came out. So that leaves 30%. I was quite surprised it was that many, to be honest. So shout out to all the OGs that were in the chat, because that was a long time ago this unit came out. And she finally got an EZA. So level 140, SA 15. She has a Peppy Gal's lead for 77% or tech types 50%. Her super attack is raise defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage with a high chance to stun. So pretty good super attack effects. And then her passive is attack and defense 177, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow, so another rainbow orb changer for this team. Recovers 17,777 HP and gets an additional 77% attack per rainbow key sphere. So 77% attack per rainbow orb is pretty good, especially if you're picking up, like on average, getting 3 isn't usually too hard with an orb changer. And then she has a great chance to reduce damage received by 77%. Now, I've built mine full dodge. She's got a little bit of crit just because of the orbs that I gave her. I didn't have any dodge and additional. I definitely could see additional being good for her because she's raising defense and has a chance to stun. But she is a purely defensive unit, right? She's not going to do a lot of damage. And the problem I see immediately looking at her kit is this great chance of reducing damage received by 77%. So if you take her into a very difficult event and that doesn't proc, then she's going to die. Almost certainly, right? So let's see. What does she have start of turn defense-wise? 143k. So that's not a lot. And even post-super attack. Now, that defense is going to jump up a little bit when we get the orbs for Bulma at the end. But, like, that's not a lot. And even her super attack effect is only a 30% raise, right? So that means she's getting what? Like an extra 40k-ish, because it won't count the support from Grandpa Gohan. So she's not even getting to 200k after supering. So you're going to want that damage reduction to proc. Now, I did see some people talking about, some people did some testing, and as long as you can see here, she's in front of a bunch of attacks, right? Her chance to reduce damage actually can proc off of any of those attacks. So what that means is if she doesn't reduce damage from the first attack, it could proc from the second attack. But as you can see, it absolutely did proc, because whilst this isn't the hardest event by any means, she is not taking double-digit damage with 160k defense in slot 1 without that 77% damage reduction, because 77% is a lot. Like, you think about some of the hardest hitting bosses in the game, if their super attack is doing 1,000,000 damage and her damage reduction actually procs, that means it's removing 770,000 damage from that attack. So that means you're taking like 230k. So that means she would actually live a super from... And that's not even incorporating defense. That's just taking 77% off of the actual damage. Now, obviously, her defense isn't super high. But what that means is if her damage reduction actually procs, especially on a turn like that one where you have a lot of support, like, she could quite easily tank some of these big boss super attacks. Now, when I say tank, somebody did bring this up in the video I did for the STR Bulma versus Cell Max, is I guess you can't really necessarily say, like, if a unit takes 200k from a super, would we call that tanking? You know, usually when we say tanking, we want units to be taking, like, anywhere between, like, 50k, maybe 100k, and, like, double digits, right, against some of these harder bosses. But when we're talking about bosses that do like 1,000,000 damage or more, because Cell Max, to like very weak units, if you really want to see a unit get exposed, take like a super old non-EZA like TUR. Like, Cell Max can do 2 million damage to people sometimes. So for you know, a unit to take like 200k from him, that's like 10% of what could be his potential maximum. I would say that that's probably tanking, right? If you're taking 10% of the damage. So it's interesting. Let me know what you guys think. What do you consider like tanking to be? So I think what we'll do is we will put her in slot 1. She does link up very well with this Yamcha, who I already did the video for. And of course, he gets guaranteed guard when there's a Peppy Gals unit on the rotation. So get four rainbow orbs here. And then yeah, we'll just give this to you. So 4 rainbow orbs means, obviously we didn't really need any healing, but a pretty significant amount of healing. And then 3.9. She also super attacks early. She super attacks at 9 ki. Not that that's a huge issue, because being an orb changer, you're very unlikely to get into situations where she's going to struggle for ki, right? There's the dodge, nice. I mean, we would have just guarded it, but it's all good. I built my Yamcha mostly for full dodge as well. I've already done the video for him, but yeah, these two together definitely work very, very well. Now, the thing with this Bulma, it kind of comes down to, if we're talking about a player in sort of my position, where obviously I have like every unit in the game, you know, I link level all of my units and such, so like, you know, my teams are very, very powerful. Would I use this Bulma? And honestly, with the way like the Dragon Ball Saga team is kind of looking at the moment, it's obviously very, very strong. I don't know if I would use her, because she's a very, very good defensive option. She's a good healer, which I guess could be quite useful. But like, there are just other units that do the same thing better than her, right? Like, if you're running double Kid Goku leads, which I mean, I guess you probably would be anyway, right? Because the other main Dragon Ball Saga lead is the Int Kid Goku. Although you could use this STR Bulma, her leader skill is only 150%, but she makes up for it by being such a ridiculous unit. But if you're running a Dragon Ball Saga team, you have units like the AGL Android 8, like Kid Goku himself, if you're getting his orbs, and he's picked up a decent amount of rainbow orbs, is obviously a very good defensive unit. Depending on who else you want to bring on the team, you've got units like the LR Jackie Chun, there's the Tech Super Strike Jackie Chun that we talked about already, done the showcase for him. There's a lot of units on this team that are very, very good defensive units, but they also back it up by either being supports, or they actually do solid amounts of damage. Like the Yamcha is a good example of that. Like, I would throw Yamcha onto my Dragon Ball Saga team before this Tech Bulma, for example, right? So I think what we'll do here, so can I put you in slot 1? What links do you share? It's just going to be those two. So you'd be at 190k defense in slot 1. Gets a little bit of extra defense in slot 2. But this is how I would run this team now that we finally have the rotation set up. So basically both of my rotations are Bulma and Kid Goku, right? Because then we have units like Yamcha floating into slot 3. There'll always be a Peppy Gals unit on the rotation, so he gets his guard. Android 8 floating into slot 3. Whilst he's not a support unit, with a Kid Goku on rotation, it means he's just going to be tanking everything, like, regardless of what the enemy throws at him. And then the other unit is Grandpa Gohan, who's providing support and also gets his full passive unlocked if there is a Kid Goku on the rotation with him. So this build for the team, I think, works really well, having Bulma and Kid Goku on both rotations. Like, one's the LR, one's the Tech one. And then I think this team works out pretty nicely, but like I say, I feel like there are better options. It is good for Yamcha as well, because as we talked about in his showcase, actually having the Peppy Gals ally so he gets the support is really good. So let's go ahead and do this. When did I turn the active skill on? Oh, it was to watch the Kid Goku super at the end of the Yamcha showcase. Alright, well, we'll let this play out. I'll say we'll let this play out as if I could actually skip it or anything, you know. So, create my orbs. That gives us the support for the next turn. We had quite a bad field of orbs as well. Like, neither of the units in slot 1 would have been able to get 7 orbs, so that actually worked out quite nicely. We can't get 7 orbs here, but, you know, Kid Goku. Kid Goku I would worry about a little bit sometimes if we can't get the 7 orbs, but at least in this phase we have type advantage, right? So 14 mil from Bulma here. Yeah, that's pretty good. 9.6. Can we get the additional super from the hidden potential? We do not. I think my Bulma has like 10 additional, I think. Alright, well, super attacks her for double-digit damage. And then Kid Goku, with the type advantage, as long as he gets the extra super here, will he actually be able to finish him off? Let's see. Oh, well, we get the crit. Okay, yeah, cool. That's going to be GG then. 8.5 with the type advantage. That's what we like to see. Because this is the phase I want to see, right? We're up against STR Nova now. And this is where the switch kind of flips, where normal attacks actually really can start to deal quite a bit of damage to you. So let's see what's going to happen here, because I think her damage reduction has actually procced every single time so far, because we haven't really seen a rotation where she's taken a lot of damage. So, but yeah, we can get 4 rainbow orbs again, which is good. Get the 7 orbs for Kid Goku, because that means if her damage reduction actually does proc, that means she has 84% damage reduction on this turn, which is pretty good, right? And then we have the support from Bulma on the previous turn. So, there you go. It procced. So, I mean, I guess my concern about the great chance was unfounded, right? Like, I actually really wanted to see how much damage that super would do. But, I mean, it probably would have been double-digit damage. 84% damage reduction on this turn. So, even if which he obviously doesn't do anywhere near that much, but if Nova was doing 1 million damage on his super, she actually would take 160k. And that's without factoring in her defense, which on this turn is probably around about 160k, because she has the support from Bulma on the previous turn. So she actually just would have taken double-digit damage from that super attack. So, you know, we got no items active, no support memory active, and the free-to-play unit is out here tanking Nova's super attack for double-digit damage. Obviously, we didn't actually get to see it, but it would have been double-digit damage. We don't get the thing for you. I think we actually, unironically, might die here, depending on who he chooses to super attack. But, yeah, there you go. TEQ Bulma. She is actually very, very good. That actually genuinely surprised me. I really thought we were going to see at least one turn where the damage reduction wasn't going to proc. And I'd have to be like, ooh, like 300k from a normal from Nova, but hey, she got it to go off. Now, it is still an issue with the unit, right? Like, if you go into, I think, did I say that example already? But you go into, like, the Metal Cooler Core Red Zone, which I will try for a video, and you put her in slot 1, like, if her damage reduction doesn't proc, she's getting nailed by his normal attacks, not just the super. And if he supers and her damage reduction doesn't proc, like, get ready to see, like, 1.5 million damage or something, right? Because, remember, in the... Actually, I didn't put the video up, because it was a video I attempted to record yesterday. I was talking about it on Twitter. The TEQ World Tournament Goku, with 900k defense, if his guard doesn't proc, he still takes 900k from the Metal Cooler Core. So, this Bulma, who's rocking, what, 170? What's she taking if her damage reduction doesn't proc? So, yeah, she would get absolutely crushed. But this pairing of her with the Kid Goku is actually really, really good, because when that damage reduction for her is active, she's having, there you go, 177, and then it procced. So the one attack, we took 177k, and then it activated and we take double-digit damage. Now, that's the example I'm talking about. If this was Red Zone Metal Cooler Core, would we have died? Potentially. I don't know how much damage his normal attacks actually do to, like, very weak units. But, yeah, it's all about that damage reduction. If you don't get the damage reduction, then she's going to get absolutely destroyed. But, as we saw from this turn, the turn where she took the super, which she did dodge, but just doing the calcs very quickly in my mind, even if his super attack was to do 1 million damage, she would have potentially tanked for double digits. She might have taken a bit of damage if it was 1 million damage, but Nova doesn't do 1 million damage, right? So it will be very interesting to see how much damage she would actually take from, like, a Metal Cooler Core super. So, like I say, I will do a video of her versus the Metal Cooler Core, and we'll see how that pans out. But let me know what you guys think of the free-to-play Bulma down below in the comment section. I think she is very, very good for a free-to-play unit. So for a unit that is so old, like I remember her being around and me farming her up like when I was first playing the game, because yeah, she's like 6 years old. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.